Bienvenidos a todos a nuestra primera sesión, nuestro primer live streaming del 2022. Mi nombre es María Ángela Hernández y para mí es un gusto retomar con todos ustedes este espacio en donde revisamos, abordamos temáticas que muchas veces implican un reto súper importante para nuestros negocios y qué mejor manera de hacerlo que con los especialistas y con aquellas personas, aquellos perfiles adecuados e idóneos para traernos sus mejores recomendaciones, su vivencia, sus experiencias y por supuesto que podamos compartir y traer un poco sobre la mesa de las dudas que ustedes tengan para resolverlas en vivo. Entonces, el día de hoy para abordar este tema que trata de la diferencia, o mejor dicho, el reto que hay cuando la empresa necesita o está evaluando el desarrollo de una aplicación, de un web app. Vamos a hablar también de esta nueva tendencia, de esta versión un poco más liviana del desarrollo de aplicaciones. ¿Realmente implican una solución al negocio o es tal vez un proceso demasiado complicado? Entonces, para abordar esto, imagínense lo que les tengo el día de hoy. Les tengo un invitado de lujo, que es Guillermo Díaz Jr. Nosotros vamos a hacer un switching hacia el inglés para la comodidad de nuestro co-host el día de hoy, ya que, bueno, él está en Estados Unidos, es uno de los representantes más influyentes en la comunidad latina en los Estados Unidos. So, Guillermo Díaz Jr. is a transformative global business leader and champion of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He now serves as the chairman of the Hispanic Technology Executive Council, HITECH, the premier global executive leadership organization of senior business and technology executives who have and are building outstanding careers in technology. So for me, it's an honor to have you here, Guillermo. Welcome to our live streaming.
Gracias, gracias. Es un gusto estar aquí con ustedes, aquí en Hawaii. Aloha.
So jealous.
I wanted to make everybody jealous.
You are doing it very, very right. Okay. Well, right now, how would you describe, Guillermo, how would you describe the CIO role evolution through the last 5 years?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. And I think the good news is, thank you for allowing me to be on this session, because I've been in the CIO role, chief digital role, and the CEO role that I'm in now. So I've got to see the bridge, as I say, from both sides. And the CIO role, which is mostly my background, because I grew up in technology. I grew up in IT, and for many years I worked for Cisco Systems, the largest networking company in the world, where I was the CIO. And I saw the role evolve, actually even more, like 10 years. But it evolved from being the, kind of the computer fixer, the people in the back room, to, kind of then evolved to being a business partner, because you needed to understand how the applications and the infrastructure work together. But then evolved even more so toward digital. And what we see now, and the role of the CIO today, like as we speak right now, is the digital influencer, the digital accelerator of the organization. And if they're not, then they're probably not really a true CIO. It moved from the back office, I want to say, to the front office or to the boardroom. And there's where a lot of the CIOs are influencing today, is in the digital transformation and the acceleration of the businesses, right?
I love that concept you just pointed out, the digital influencer. They have developed, or they are on the road to develop, this more strategic mindset.
Right.
To be the link between the technology and the benefits that it provides to the companies. Very good. So we have already acknowledged the great impact of applications and web applications in the company's growth. But How would you define the value to the C-suite, to the directors, to the main directors of these kind of tools?
Yeah. So I think, I it's a great question. And I think the why I let's go back to the digital influencer concept, right? Or the digital accelerator. And I want to really use those words because before we were the back office, then we were enabling. So we were enabling the business. And now we are the business. We're the so so here's something to think about, especially in the last 2 years, right? What has happened? Two things I believe really happened to the world. The world became more digital. Everything that we do, and overnight, we saw our lives change. When the pandemic hit us, overnight, almost we had to go to school online. We had to go to work remotely. So digital tools or tooling became strategies. So it's not just about the tools, it's about flip it over now. And it's now the strategy of the company. The acceleration of digital transformation for most businesses went from, we have a 3 to 5 year strategy to we have a 3 to 5 month
Yeah,
strategy. And if we don't do it in 3 to 5 months, we probably are going to be lost. Or at some point, we're going to be out of business. So the tools, I would shift the mindset from tools to strategy. And tools are just the sort of the enabler, or helping the strategy. But as we talk with our CEOs, and I'm one of those now, as you talk to CEO or the C-suite, digital is now part of the strategy. And if it's not, then the business is probably not doing well. So I think it's a shift in mindset from trying to go in and selling a tool or a web app to why is it important to our business versus how and what. Does that make sense?
of course. And in all of this path, keeping in mind that it's not only about the company, it's not only about our goals, it's mainly about the customer needs, the customer, the user experience, how to make it easy, how to make it fun, how to make it sexy to our customers. And this is where the web apps have a lot to offer.
Yeah. And you hit it right, is the customers want to consume differently now. They have to. I have to be remote. So my phone now is becoming my how I do business. My computer is how I do business. If I don't have one of these, then I'm lost, especially in this new post, well, I won't even say post COVID because we're still in COVID, but in
Yeah.
this new digital world, this is the tool, but the experience and how the customers consume me and experience me as a business is so critical. Otherwise, they're going to go somewhere else, right?
That's right. And sometimes the business managers find the CIO policies very restrictive, or like an obstacle to keep growing. Why do you think that happens? And what can how can the CIO avoid that?
Yeah. I think again, I go back to like the CIO of the past was like a governor, right? It was like, we have to have a policy, and you have to have that. You have to have a security policy, but it has to be flexible. It has to be aligned with the business goals. So if a policy is too stringent and doesn't allow me to accelerate my business, then we need to revisit. So you need to, I think this intersection of the CIO and the CEO as partners, it needs to sort of go hand in hand and evolve, because if a policy is too stringent and it doesn't allow me to accelerate my business, then you need to kind of revisit, like an agile model, right? So a policy needs to be agile as well. So if it doesn't work, find out what works, move forward, discard the bad stuff. And but it has to be sort of sort of learn fast, learn often kind of policy, I think, right?
For sure. Now, I would like to have your hat changed to the CEO hat. What what goes into the CEO mind when he's asked to invest in an app, in an application development?
Yeah.
What goes into his mind?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I have this cool app. I want you to invest in it, or we need to invest in it in the company." My first question is why? Why is it? And I go back to the original start, as a CIO, start shifting your mindset, one, and how you approach your C-suite into versus tooling to strategy. Because the CIO, the CEO rather, is going to be looking at how is it going to impact our customers? How is it going to drive revenue? How is it going to increase my my operational excellence and efficiencies? How is it going to improve the supply chain? And now, and again, so going in there, and I want to know, don't just come and try to sell me an app without trying to tell me why is it going to do all of those things. So the CEO is looking at the why, right? The C level and the partnership there, the COO is looking at how, the operational processes. And the CIO is looking at what technologies can support that business. So it's the why, the sort of the how and the what.
Yeah,
And if you can have that partnership, and by the way, it doesn't, you can overlap those roles, but because the CEO of today, I believe that every job, and you could argue with me on this, but I'm going to put something out there for everyone. Every job from now until the future of whenever, as long as I'm here, will be more technical. There will be technology embedded in almost every role there is going forward. If you think about it, even the people that work in the restaurant today, you go in and you put there's a registration code or a QR code. Boop, here comes the menu. You look at the menu, you order. They come and they bring you the drinks, but then you pay for with the next code. So even the service businesses have become more digital. I had a robot deliver my food the other day.
cool.
I saw in San Francisco airport, and you've probably seen this too, is you have the robot making coffee. So I think the CEO mindset has to be thinking that how do I embed digital and technology as a strategic accelerator of my business? And when you come and try to sell me an app or a tool, make sure that it will answer the why. Why is it important to my business? So it's a long answer to a short question, but I think it's really important that the world today. I have my partner at High Tech, Omar Duque. He says, and I'm trying to, and this, you kind of have to think about this. Is like the world has accelerated so fast. The world will never be as slow as it is right now.
Mm.
even though we've gotten so fast, going forward, the world will never be as slow as this point in time right now that you and I are speaking. It's just going to go faster. And technology is going to accelerate that, right?
Sure. That's a very nice sentence. I will have it in my mind. Very good. But, you know, I think despite the fact that we must understand what kind of technology or brand or service delivery, what you just described as the what, the what, um, we need to solve any problem is a key success factor to have the right partnership with an experienced provider. And for this kind of solution as an app or web applications, agile developments, we work closely with our sponsor of today's live streaming, which is Singular Design. They come with the best human resources, consultants, and the most advanced tools to drive success to any kind of company. You can find out more at singular.design. So I wanted to go deeper with that sentence you just shared with us. How would you agree with the statement? The faster way to get hard troubles solved is by agile developments. Why is that?
Well, I think, um, and actually, right, even right now, I've launched a new venture, right? I think I told you this. So we're going to be dealing with some really hard problems. Um, but I think, if I use my own experience, if I go back to the early days of IT, we used to work with the business, right? We used to say, "Oh, what are your requirements, business?" The business would spend weeks and weeks and weeks to come up with a big document about this thick. Then they would give it back to the technology team. The technology team would read, and then they would send you back a document this big, right? And so now you're probably 3 to 4 months into it, and you still even don't even like are on the same page with what is it that we're actually trying to do. So you have an idea, but now you have all this documentation that doesn't mean anything. And in fact, when you start building it, it doesn't even look like what is in the document anyway. So what I learned along that line, we were early days in agile development. It's a development, methodology, but it's also a mindset. And the mindset is, how do we get, the right people in the room? The pizza team, the two
The
pizza
people,
team,
yeah, I've heard
right?
about it.
How do you get the right people in the room? And you start whiteboarding, you start thinking, and you go, well, now we need to actually show something, but you do it very quickly. And you learn, I call it, see, in agile, there's this term called fail fast and fail often. See,
Indeed.
I think that mindset is a negative mindset. You still need to fail. Don't get me wrong, but I like to use the term learn fast, learn often, and what you learn that is good, move forward. Where you learn that didn't work, discard it, but move forward. And but keep that in the back of your mind, is like, it didn't work, so let's, you know, but I do believe that agile is going to help you solve some of these tough problems that no one has solved before. Like what we're going to be doing with Conectado is we are going to be connecting very different organizations to help grow the impact of Latinos in technology. So we're going to use the technology platform, but it's going to be metaverse like.
So cool.
So,
Congratulations.
so it's now, it's kind of hasn't quite been done. We know what the problem that we're trying to solve, but we're also trying to solve it not with just an app, but with an immersive experience. It's like, Maria Angel, how do you know, where are you trying to go? And we kind of help you get there. We connect you, like literally connect you with, in a metaverse style, with somebody that has been there before,
Great.
and someone that looks like you, by the way, right?
Great.
Another Latino. It's like, well, I can't do that. Well, it's like, no, you can, because this woman Maria Angel did that. And look at where she's at.
Mm-hmm.
She's a CEO. So if she could do it, why not you? If I and people ask me that, is like, well, how do I ever do that? I don't have that. I said, neither did I. But I look back at my own journey, and it was agile, because I didn't know what I was going to do, but I went and did it. Because mi abuelita always told me, someone is going to change the world. Why not you? So I think if you have that mindset of why not you, and you build that into your agile development and your agile mindset, then I think you can have some really good success.
What a nice idea or entrepreneurship you're funding. Congratulations. I think it's going to be huge success for all of our community, uh, because you're leveraging on the knowledge of the whole community, so it can be
Right.
agile. Very good.
Right.
Great. I'm really happy. You know why? Because look at this. This is my book, and it's called I Eat Failure for Breakfast.
Hey,
so
that's it.
so
Right.
it's based on all of this learning path. um, when we try to fail fast, I mean to learn faster and cheaper and often, of course, because it's the most important. So I'm going to go with our last question in today's interview, and it's about the what could you advise? What advice can you share with the CEOs still doubtful to develop their own web apps or to invest in technology solutions?
Yeah. So I would say, and by the way, I can also provide. We did a report on behalf of High Tech and the Latino Donor Collaborative, and a few other organizations, including Wells Fargo. But we did this report, and in the report, we start with the why. The why are we even having this conversation? Because as I said at the beginning, two things happened in the last 2 years. We became more digital, and we became more socially aware, meaning diversity, meaning we saw what happened in the U.S. with the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter, but we also are seeing a lot of efforts in the boardroom around sustainability. So we became more digital, and we became more socially aware. Those two things are key in how a CEO should be thinking. So in order to now we go to, well, wait, the world has evolved to be more digital. Now in that report, you'll also see that digital transformation accelerated by 3 to 5 years. So those that are actually had a digital strategy, that time that was 3 to 5 years, that went from that to about 3 to 5 months. Those that didn't have a digital strategy either have one now, or my advice is you better get one. And a digital strategy that technology will be foundational in every job in the future. So my advice to the CEOs is partner with your CIO and your chief digital strategist to really build that accelerated strategy of how you're going to get your business accelerated, and technology will be that accelerator. Think about Meta. Think about Meta being Facebook. Think about Microsoft. Think about, even I saw Cisco yesterday. All of these companies now are all talking about this metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
That, it was the same thing when they talked about cloud, when they
Mm-hmm.
talked about artificial intelligence, when they talked about data strategies and agile. All those people, well, it's not going to happen so fast. It's like, well, wait a minute. Now that's all gone. You're either there or you're lost. So
Yes.
you start thinking about this. If you don't have one, you should have one, because the world will never be as slow as it is right now.
As it is right now. Very, very well. Actually, in To Sell More, we are developing our own methodologies to drive. I mean, to make something um, like a coaching, a accompaniment, going with our customers um, hand by hand with our people innovation methodology. You can find out more into sellmore.com, because technology by itself won't work. It needs to be driven to be with the proper strategy, and we help companies to build that. So, my dear Guillermo, it has been such a pleasure, and we had such a nice time with you. Thanks for sharing all of your wisdom with our community.
It was my pleasure. Aloha.
Aloha to you too. Thank you to all of our audience for watching us. Keep in touch and subscribe to our channel To Sell More, and follow us in social media. You can find us as To Sell More and Mariangel Strategist. See you next time, and remember, disrupt to sell more.